Hello, and welcome to the 165th episode of the weekly What's New on the Net podcast. Wow, can't believe we've done so many episodes. So you made it, and I am glad. In the studio is your favorite host Saurabh Gaswala, bringing you all the important tech headlines from around the world this week. Tighten your seatbelts and let's go. This is one of the most important regulatory developments of our times, and perhaps may even change the way we surf on the World Wide Web. On Thursday, the European Union reached an agreement to adopt the Digital Markets Act. The DMA is a sweeping antitrust law eventually meant to rein in Apple, Google, Meta, and other tech giants. Lawmakers reached a provisional agreement on the law following hours of negotiations, the European Parliament wrote in a statement. Experts say the law could have far-reaching implications, some of which could extend even beyond Europe. One of the most important features of the DMA is that messaging providers like WhatsApp would need to make their services interoperable with other services. Now, what does that mean exactly is still not clear, but the law says these biggies like iMessage must be able to interoperate with smaller messaging platforms, if they so request. We will be tracking this development as it unfolds in the coming days, so stay tuned. Lapsus Dollar, the group known for claiming to have hacked Nvidia, Samsung, and others, claimed earlier this week it had even hacked Microsoft. The group posted a file that it claimed contained Bing and Cortana source code in an archive that held almost 37 gigabytes of data. This was later confirmed by Microsoft. But a nonchalant Microsoft said on its blog that there's nothing much to worry about. Microsoft investigators had been tracking the Lapsus Dollar group for weeks, and knew of some of the methods they had used to compromise victims' systems. According to the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center, the objective of the group was to gain elevated access through stolen credentials that enabled data theft and destructive attacks against a targeted organization, often resulting in extortion. Microsoft said no customer code or data was involved in the observed activities. Only a single account had been compromised, granting limited access. Microsoft said its cybersecurity response teams had quickly engaged to remediate the compromised account and prevent further damage. Microsoft also went on to explain that as a company, it does not rely on the secrecy of code as a security measure, and viewing source code does not lead to elevation of risk. Google is finally bringing the ability to delete the last 15 minutes of your search history to its Android app. This feature was already available to iPhone users. According to a report by TheVerge.com, Google said it was rolling this feature out on the Google app for Android and expected it to be available to everyone using the app in the next few weeks. In order to use this feature, all you need to do is open the Google app on your Android device and tap on your profile. In the pop-up menu, you should see a Delete Last 15 Minutes option located under Search History. Tap that and the Google app will delete the last 15 minutes of your search history from within the app. LinkedIn has added a new way for brands to stay in touch with their audience on the platform, with company pages now able to create their own newsletters in the app, which will also include new notifications for page followers for newsletter updates. LinkedIn originally added newsletters for users in creator mode in November last year. Now, company pages will also be able to get in on the action. The main advantage for brands is the capacity to notify their page followers with newsletter updates, via an automatic, one-time alert to their audiences for every new newsletter issue. Subscribers will also be able to opt in to get email notifications of future updates.
Here is a shout out to founders, co-founders, CEOs, CTOs and C-suite guys of tech unicorns, businesses and startups around the world. Come share your business story on our weekly podcast. CEO Speak is a new slot we have introduced in which the top management of tech companies can tell the rest of their community of their success, their struggles, and so on. Plus, as a bonus, the same will also be published on our website what'snewonthenet.com. Get your invite by writing into us at what'snewonthenet.com@gmail.com.
In our startup segment, today we have Super SEO Tips. This startup is a dynamic library of over 180 SEO tips with videos that will help you rank higher and drive more organic traffic to your website. So when you go over to the Super SEO Tips website, you will see an SEO tip of the day, along with other features. As all of us know, SEO is very crucial for the visibility of your website, so perhaps Super SEO Tips could be worth a look. That's superseo.tips.
A word of caution. Listeners are strongly advised to do their due diligence before buying or downloading any of the startups featured here. Startup profiles are only for information purposes, and this podcast does not vouch for any of their features.
And with that, it's a wrap. We are at the end of this week's podcast. Please do subscribe to this podcast and help us to increase the number of subscribers. You won't be disappointed. And of course, do not forget to tune in next Sunday. This is your host Saurabh Gaswala signing off for now. Adieu.